Yo, what is good, YouTube? Brody here, looking extra HD today. Just got out of a crazy session. I wanted to show you guys how within the same song made something that sounds like this. And like this. I feel like this has been a thing that's kind of become a trend for the past couple months of production I've been doing, where I've been in this weird space of like combining folky, Midwest emo-y, ambient, like twangy sounding stuff with metal, new metal, hardcore, shoegaze, alt rock, grunge kind of stuff. I feel like there's a big middle ground between a lot of these, a lot of similar instrumentation, ambience, emotions, themes among the genres. And I don't know, that's kind of me trying to figure out why we've led to this place with my writing. I had this session with Crim today, really sick Irish artist that I've had a few of our sessions on this channel with before. Definitely recommend checking him out. Great at what he does. But we've been finishing up some songs for a new project for him. And that's where this came into place. We were kind of inspired by like folk, the whole like Adrian Linker, Ethel Cain type of sound where there's very dense layers of folk guitar, a lot of things going on, a lot of like aux percussion, shakers, whatnot. And we wanted to try to bring that into our world. So the way the session started was trying to emulate that sound. I set us up in like a 6/8 time signature and just started recording stacks of my nylon guitar and my acoustic guitar and just getting a bunch of things. I feel like that's what makes that type of writing special, is just like all these interlocking guitar parts that kind of sound like one thing but are really like so many parts weaving in and out. I'll show where we started. I started off, made this loop here, my acoustic. Kept it pretty open and ambiguous. That way I could have parts weave in and out and have that be like essentially just the chord progression. Added this layer of acoustic. And then to complement this acoustic layer, which is panned a little bit to the left, I did this layer on my nylon guitar panned right. I really like pairing my nylon and acoustic together. I feel like the sharpness of the acoustic and the more mellow-y sound of the nylon really hit each other in a really complementary way, depending on how upfront or subdued you want a section to be. My acoustic guitar is in, I got a Capo 2. DGE FCE. I'm gonna commit that to memory. DGC FCE. Awesome acoustic tuning. My classical guitar is set to open D. So they're both, again, tonality is different and tuning is having me choose different directions. But yeah, these parts pair really nicely. Then I made this lead, also on the nylon. Plug in that main one again. See, it's already starting to sound really dense. I made a bass layer where I played just the root note and I pitched it an octave down. Sounds like an upright bass. From there, I added my EBow. That's this guy vibrating the strings, and then a slide. That way it's just fully flowing, very vocal sounding thing I like to imagine. I did a version of that where I half-timed it. Pick it down an octave and rhythmically different. To mesh with the EBow, I recorded some vocals And then I recorded it once and then I reversed it and then had those panned left and right. Sounds like this. Some reverb and delay on it. Kind of sounds silly by itself, but I think the human voice element kind of ties that EBO to the rest of... The EBO ties the guitar to this, and this ties it to the vocals. So I feel like that kind of marries a lot of different sections of the song. Between... So they kind of have similar, like, yearning, crooning kind of thing to it. Then from there, we have some piano sections. I love the sound design here. Started off with wanting to do like a kind of Porter Robinson, J-rock, EDM kind of inspired like compressed piano lead. So we came up with this. Very like major key sounding piano part, but I think in the context of everything, it really makes it this like melancholic, bittersweet thing. And then kind of playing more with the piano like timbre within this. Took a version where I played some chords. It made it like really a pad. I half-timed it. I gave it a delay and a reverb. And with the halftime, I'm having it set to the swell mode. That way there's really not an attack going on. I wanted like the feeling of the piano without the pick attack or like the hit note hitting of it, you know? Then I have a similar thing where I'm half-timing the main piano melody, running it through digitalis. Love the sound of that. Very nice bed. And alongside that, the last ambient stuff that we have going on is this similar pad that I recorded through my amp, through my jazz chorus. Just played a couple of notes on my electric guitar, rung them out in infinite reverb, printed it throughout the whole song. And yeah, that's kind of the whole melodic part of this song. That is where we started. We wanted that to be the main focus of everything, is building all these parts up. And then as you can see, it's slowly kind of like dynamics-wise, starts off medium, gets low for the verses, gets big, then stops and repeats, that kind of thing. This is the first hook. Also, I have this like tremolo pick guitar lead. I didn't mention that because that was kind of more an afterthought, not afterthought, but like done in the second half of this production. First half of us writing was getting that kind of like acoustic, folky, organic sounding bed. Then the second half was building up the rock side of it. So on the second hook, we took all of that. Oh yeah, on top of that, there are also some shakers and tambourine stuff. I just recorded shaker and tambourine, did some pitching to it. But on the second half, I did that, added a drum kit. Some bass guitar, that same lead, and then rhythm. Intentionally kind of doing it at this mid-level of energy. The guitar, the rhythm guitar isn't as upfront as it could be, super verbed out. Doing some fun things, or I feel like we're playing with contrast, having like very pretty organic sounding song and then adding some really like heavy, unnerving kind of guitar tones. I'm using the Boss HM2 for the distortion on that through my jazz chorus amp, kind of emulating the like black metal PV banded HM2 type of sound. And then same with that tremolo pick. Very like, I'm kind of bringing it into the tones of shoegaze, but writing wise, kind of more like a black metal type thing. And I think that, again, black metal kind of, it's a lot harsher of a way to do it, but it has a lot of the same like topics and feelings of like some folk and emo music. Then we got bass guitar, also through the jazz chorus with HM2 for the dirt side, just to kind of glue it all together. Also, I just love how the HM2 sounds on bass. So yeah, the dirt, then the clean, just parallel processing. This drum kit is kind of in the middle. I have the same, so you heard a little bit of the big section at the end. I have the same snare drum on this, but I'm hitting it softer. But the rest of the kit is a lot softer. Versus, I wanted them to sound like fitting in the same song, but that metal kit is not going to make sense in like a more shoegazy section. Really excited to hear vocals over that. From there, we take it to the lowest energy part of the song. That way it's like a bridge, kind of building up suspense and making sure the end part hits as loud as possible. So I'm just going to kind of play that through. It's everything that I've already shown you. Nothing new will happen until the big climax part. So I'm just going to let you guys hear that. Big breathing room space here. Love the dynamics. Love the noise, all the chaos there. Slowly fades out. Love that. It's such a cool moment, I think. I love how angry everything gets, all the noise in the guitar. Really, in a much more aggressive way, is doing a similar thing of all the vocal pads and ebo and pretty yearning kind of parts in the beginning. I think it's a really nice contrast. So we have that same guitar tone from the first hook with guitar that's a bit drier, but that like black metal-y HM2 jazz chorus tone. But then I'm quad tracking it. I'm playing the same thing with my PVVTM 120 over here to get more of like a Marshall E 5150 like metal, like kind of bridging it between like a Swedish death metal tone and like a more like modern metal kind of thing with Also doing a lot of noise throws on this one. Like that. Turn the gate off. So yeah, playing the same thing, but a lot more aggressively, hitting it harder. I'm playing it with my Strat with single coils to get it a little bit of extra character. I just kind of wanted to do something more interesting than just like a humbucker rhythm guitar thing. And I think it turned out extra cool. Instead of like, to like kind of make up for the twanginess of the single coils, I just cranked the gain more, did some extra gain staging. I think I used the Rat as the boost on my VTM, and it just gives it some interesting tone. Plus that bass is such a thick tone as well. So it all sounds huge together. For the noise, I'm using a delay pedal that I set really high up to self-oscillate. That I'm kind of turning on and off. I have my Digitech whammy pedal to get some pitch, like bendy things. And then also I just turned off my noise gate. Since I have single coils, I'm feedbacking a whole lot easier. And I'm just kind of like leaning into it and letting it get really intense and musical and fun. And yeah, that is how I did this. I think that's about it. I didn't go through just a couple layers of like swells. But yeah, with that, you have heard every element of this song. Came together pretty quickly. We made it in about like 4 hours today. Kind of a longer one, especially because there's the big genre change. We had to take our time and combing through it and mixing and getting everything sitting right. But I love the switch ups. I love how harsh it is of like from slow, pretty emo folk thing to just hard hitting, hardcore type of riff here. And I love how there's no build up too. It just gets really soft, and then that contrast is so cool. That like hitting the strings muted is like the drum fill that brings you into it. I love how that turned out. I think it sounds awesome. Cannot wait to hear how this sounds. I think that I've been working on this style for a while, and I've been trying to make sure that in doing so, I'm not getting repetitive or falling on to the same tropes every time I write. And I think that with this session, we really pushed ourselves to take this and push it in a new direction. I really love how it turned out. I hope you guys did as well. If there's any questions or anything you want me to elaborate on, I know this is a shorter video this time, please let me know in the comments. And if you made it this far, thank you so much. Really appreciate it. It means a ton. All being said, peace out.